Hello, everybody. I'm David Bosca. I told you we'd do more podcasts. Well, in all honesty, I'm just not sure how many we're going to do, but we're going to try. And today I've got a good old friend on here, old Virginia Smoke, Mr. Luke Darnell. Luke, say hey.
How you doing, David? I'm doing good, buddy. Thanks for having me on.
Good. Yeah, welcome. We've been trying to hook up for just a little bit on this. My out or you're out or something. It just crossed paths, but it's hard to when you live on one side of the country and I live on the other. Well,
Yeah, and it's been a busy summer. We have had a lot going on. We've been doing a lot of teaching, a lot of catering, a lot of cooking, so a lot of good stuff happening.
let's start with tell everyone where Luke lives and where you're at right now.
Well, I live in Bristow, Virginia, and I am in Bristow, Virginia right now. Um, got a couple things, big things coming up. We got a contest. It's actually at less than an hour from the house this week, which is rare. Um, and then we're going to head out to Boise next week for the meat and taters contest that Anella from Snake River Farms is putting on. So, yeah.
I don't want to cut you off, but tell me about that. I don't think I've heard of that. Meat and taters.
So Anella got herself wrapped up into something where she's putting on a barbecue contest in Boise, and as soon as she told us about it, we booked flights. We haven't never been out there. One of our things that we like to do is to cook in a new state every year.
Okay.
So this will be the first time cooking in Idaho. It'll be our first time really doing it, on all borrowed equipment and all borrowed everything. And we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. We'll get to see a lot of people from all over the country, and I'm really excited about the potato ancillary. I got something special up my sleeve for them. So.
Well, I was going to ask with the name meat and potato. I was going to ask, is that going to be a category? Yeah.
Yes, it's one of the ancilleries, and we actually ran a potato dish at the DC barbecue battle this year alongside of our steak that I think really won us the steak contest. So we'll see how that goes.
So, is it going to be a sanctioned event, or is it going to be just a brisket and ancillary?
No, it's a full KCBS event.
Okay.
I think she has, I want to say 34 or 35 teams, and they are
Oh,
literally
good,
coming from everywhere.
good.
Um, yeah, it's kind of a murderer's row in terms of, you got Brad Leininger from Getting Base is going to be there. Darren's going to be there. Jeff Vanderlinde from Shiggin and Grinnon's going to be there. Gabe Trevino from Smoking Bolts, who's on the California, has been killing it. He's going to be there. So I have no expectations, buddy. I just going out to have a good time.
Well, let me tell you, while you're saying all this, they're all saying, yeah, and Luke from Old Virginia Smoke's coming. I mean, yeah. So, what are you going to cook on out there?
We are actually, and the name I left off has also been killing it. Meat Candy Q.
Uh-huh.
Dave and Shireen Mara, they are going to bring us out a couple of drums and just going to kind of go from there. I'm interested to see it. I got to spend a lot of time with Brad this summer with him cooking on the East Coast and cooking on borrowed stuff and bringing stuff for him. So I got a pretty good handle on how to do it. I think so. I think we're going to be okay. So we'll
How
see.
many are you going to have to cook on?
Just two.
I, and that's not stupid. I mean, ancillary, it could jump in there, but when I went out and did the King of the Smoker out there, Tim had taken me or got me two drums out there also. So
Yeah,
it can be done, but you do have to be on your mark on it, no doubt about it.
absolutely. We usually cook on. Well, this is our first year on drums. We've cooked on Jambo offset for 7, 8 years, and we made the decision this off season to switch to all gateways, and we usually have three and a Traeger. But I think we can do it on two, and yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's about timeline, and yeah, maybe one thing has to come off a bit early. Maybe one thing, yeah, but it ain't nothing stupid.
Yeah, if I start brisket early, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah. If I
So
remember right, that might have been my early. I can tell you, I had a situation out there. I separate and cook from the beginning, point and flat separate, and my point always just stays on forever. I just let it cook to death, and I will tell you, it was around 10:30. I honestly don't remember. Um, but I pulled my flat off. It was done. So I put it in a warming box, which was just a empty ice chest,
Hmm.
and started going through the motions of everything else. Well, we went through all the turn ins, and I was happy. I was really happy with everything. And I opened up because I normally will cut my burn ends first, sauce them, and then go into the flats. Well, I pulled the point off of the drum because it was still in there. I just already shut it down, let it start doing its cool down time. But anyway, I opened it up. No, that was my flat.
Oh no.
Oh, yes, that's what I said. Um, so I grabbed some new foil, a little bit of juice, and poured what I could on it and shoved it down in the ice. I said, "Oh, this has got to firm up so I can slice."
Yeah.
And I grabbed that burn end that was now setting it over there, and I knew it wasn't going to be the best in the world. Threw it, rewrapped it also, and shoved it right down in what coals I had left over. Said, "Okay, baby, you got to get up there and quick."
You had to start cooking. You had to really get
Exactly.
after it.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember I was right beside Brad out there at that one. And when they brought the drums over that Friday evening, we was kind of getting tables all situated and stuff. And Brad yelled at me and he says, "Where are you going to put your extension cords at?" I says, "Well, I didn't think we'd need lights." He says, "No, I meant for," he was telling me, teasing with me, asking for my pellets.
That's funny.
Yeah.
But I mean, you bring up a couple of cool things there. What to do in situations
Yeah.
where stuff like that happens. And there's a lot of, old school tricks out there that I feel pleasure to know because I don't think a lot of that's taught anymore. Like when you have a situation where you can cool down an ice and get something, bring it back to life, that's an old school trick.
Yeah. I remember one time, man, I can't even remember where it was at. I remember watching Donnie Teal one time take something and he was on his jambo and just shoved it right in there on top of his coals. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" He said, "Couldn't get it done." And I kept that in my mind the whole time. And I knew the old ice trick from someone else. And yeah, it's just one of those you store away till you need it. Yeah.
You never know. But you have to be resourceful. I think that's one of the hardest things to teach newer cooks
Yeah.
because there's so much information out there now. You can get a class on barbecue league and go cook a contest tomorrow.
Yeah.
That didn't exist back in the day.
No, you're absolutely right. And we always called it circumstantial. The more circumstances you've been in, the more you know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely,
Well,
absolutely. So will always cherish those things I learned sitting around a campfire on a Friday night and just keeping my mouth shut and just paying attention.
hey, is that easy or hard for you to do?
Hard, hard.
What
But
how long have you been cooking?
I think this is our 13th year.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah, we started in our 12th year. We started in 2013. And I mean, I never dreamed this would be something that I would do for that long. I still love it. I still love getting out. Like I had to cater last night, that was fine. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, I got to buy chicken, and I got to start getting this stuff right. And we got into the jack.
Oh,
So
congratulations.
thank you,
You've
thank
been
you.
several
So
times, I do know.
this will be our third time,
Okay.
and yeah, so got to start running wings every weekend and see how those go. And
So you're a wing cooker for the white meat. Do you put one wing in or do you go ahead and put enough for the judges?
oh, I'm doing 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. I think the one wing thing. I don't want to use a bad word, but no.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
exactly.
do it right. I think that's a. I mean, somebody will get mad at me for saying this, but I think it's a cop out.
Yeah, I did breast, and I'm not a wing eater at all. I don't like
Yeah,
eating wings. Why work so hard for a half a bite? Um,
fair enough.
so so I don't understand the what makes a good one versus a bad one. So I cooked breast, and we really kind of understood and got that. And I've got a podcast coming up with Christy from Girls Can Grill in September, and we're going to do a full jack layout.
Oh wow.
For like first timers, things like that. Really, she has some really good videos from last year or year before, I forget, on that. And it kind of sparked my thoughts on that when I started this all back up. And then just about that time, I had some first timer email me and say, "Hey, what advice do you have?" And I thought, that'd be a good time to jump in, and we can both kind of get a little structured talk about it, and maybe help someone out because of that, because she is really good at trying to help people on Facebook. So
She's really good. She's a true ambassador of barbecue
yeah,
and just one of the nicest ladies you'll ever meet. It's we've done on my podcast a couple of years. We've done last year especially. We did kind of a first timers type of deal, and this year a lot of my friends that are going from the East Coast because we have a lot of newer cooks. There's got a few friends that are going for the first time, so I've kind of been in their ear since the beginning. Like, here's what you need to do
yeah.
immediately. Here's what you need to do. Start planning for. Don't get in your own head about any of it. It's
Speaking of your podcast, give a shout out. Tell everyone
oh sure,
about. Yeah.
yeah, Pitmaster. It's a podcast, and I'll even give a little background here, which I don't talk
Yeah,
about
do
too
that.
much. It's been going on since that was my COVID project, and unfortunately this year we've had some family things that have kept me from doing some stuff that I really that I like doing that. But I listened to a podcast called the Tim Ferriss Show, and he's just a brilliant entrepreneur, um, great mind, angel investor. But he started a podcast basically to scratch his own itch, which was interviewing the people who are the top in their field and figuring out what makes them tick, what habits, what rituals they have. And I wanted to do that with barbecue. Number one, because I just find it insanely interesting what people do and what they think is,
Yeah.
helps them, but also to catalog some of these stories. Um, I had the honor last year of co-hosting the Hall of Fame thing at the KCBS awards banquet, and just really cataloging that knowledge of all of you guys, all of you great guys that are in the Hall of Fame, and having those stories, I think is an important part of our barbecue history. And that's always been part of it for me.
That was a lot of fun last year. And I'd like to go over that just a little bit down. I don't want to sidetrack from it.
Sure,
Stick,
sure.
Sticking a little bit there with your podcast, the Jack and all that.
Hmm.
Um, I don't want to give away all the stuff, especially if you're going to do something. I want them to all tune in, but we want everyone to pay attention to Luke, to Christy, and like I said, what we're going to be throwing out there. You're going to find nuggets all over the place and putting them in, just like what Luke was saying with the wing. He's not doing just one. What we're meaning by that, for those that's never been, is the Jack has one stipulation that's different than any other KCBS style contest: is you have to turn in white meat in your box. It doesn't say it has to be all white meat. You can still do your drums, your thighs, whatever you used to, but white meat has to be a part of it. So those that never perfected the perfect white meat will put one piece in there so that they can't be judged down. And that's the way I look at it. So they can't be judged down. Is that how
Right.
you think of it too?
Yes, I don't think you're going to get judged up. I
Yeah.
think I think someone. If I'm a judge and I see one wing, that means I don't want the wing.
Yeah.
I'm going to take whatever else is in there because they obviously cared a lot more about that than the wing.
Yeah.
Not cared, but they perform better on the thigh or the leg, or
Yeah.
And our first jack we ran breast. I thought we had that licked. We did not. But it's a great little wrinkle that I really enjoy. And
Yeah.
the other part of that wrinkle is that you have to have 7 pieces.
Yes.
In which I was talking to a friend of mine, Chris Salisbury from Fred Vegas Smokers last night. I said, "Now pay attention to this because I know that you are a 6-bone guy.
Yeah.
You got to run 7. You got to have 7. Don't be like put the best 6 in and then whoopsies, you're gonna be in trouble." So you just have to pay attention to that. Jack's a lot of fun. You know,
Absolutely. And the 7 bone or the 7 pieces of meat in the box, and what that stands for is Jack's Hole number 7.
yep,
It's and that's something that I was going to go over also is it doesn't mean there's 7 judges.
right.
That means it's still KCBS judging and scoring. There's 6 judges that's going to go through. It's just that they want to make sure there's 7 or enough for 7 to where if you put 6 slices of brisket and 6 burn ends, you got over 7 pieces. That counts.
You're good. Yep.
That's right.
I
And
don't want to steal any more thunder from you and Christie's, but
oh no, information's information. I don't
if I
mind at all.
if I have to give one piece of advice, it was the piece of advice that was given to me after my first year. Um, first year, you're go there, soak it in,
Take it up.
take it up, do everything, do the parade, go up on the hill, go to Miss Mary Bobo's, do everything, participate in everything, be there. Your cook is secondary to having that experience. It really, I hate to say that, but it's such a unique thing in barbecue. And I mean, listen, we were in the draw for 10 years before we got pulled.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, so and I didn't have the best experience the first time. We got into trouble and it's no good.
I think everyone knows that story.
Yep. No good.
Yeah. But it's still a unique experience and
Mhm.
not everybody can do it. So I'm with you 100%. Let's go and enjoy it, but remember what you're there for.
Yes.
You're there for that. Yeah. Yeah. The contest is still going to be the contest. When it comes down to it, Friday night and Saturday, get your game face on. It's time. Yeah.
Yeah. There's just an energy when you wake up that morning there.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be a little misty, a little foggy in the mountains, and
And maybe even up here, who knows?
yeah, and but you just get up and you're like, wow, this is why we've done all this,
That's
is
right.
to come here and do
Yeah.
this. So pretty
It,
exciting stuff in the fall.
yeah. You hear of the Royal, you hear the Memphis May being the Super Bowl, but everybody knows what the Jack is.
Mhm.
Everybody in competition barbecue. Yeah. They
Yep.
know what the Jack is. Yeah. Yeah. So,
But that's not to say I'm not looking forward to the Royal too. That's one of my favorite
yeah.
weekends of the year.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we didn't go last year. We're not going to go this year. The way that it had to fall in the calendar, man, you're just so close to Thanksgiving. It's hard for us to pull 5 days out of the warehouse and not ship. Um,
Absolutely.
it's I still gotta take care of the business and pay bills. So we have just like doggone it. Martin and I are talking about running up Saturday night to attend the induction to the Hall of Fame since we got a couple friends going in, and then just spend the night and then turn and burn and come back Sunday morning.
Yeah.
We have talked about that. Nothing set in stone on that, but we sure have talked about going up and just being with them since all the hard work and all the times in and being able to visit with them during their time. That's their time. Yeah.
Absolutely. I call it being in the barbecue snow globe.
Yeah. There you
When
go.
you're there in the speedway, and it's pure barbecue nirvana.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Everybody's there for the same thing. It's cool.
yeah, you can spin your web and no one will know but you.
Yep.
Well, let's take a quick Dylan, let's talk about what's back behind you there on the wall. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, tell us a little bit about that.
so I won't say previous hobby. One of my other hobbies is playing guitar, and that was what I actually did before we got into competition barbecue. Is me and my best friend Leanne were a two-person group, and we'd play gigs and write songs and do things like that. So I play around a little bit from time to time, and it's a lot of fun. It helps me keep creative, and it's actually a good meditation thing for me. So I still have it's like smokers, buddy. I got too many damn guitars. I got too many of everything. So
It, it,
it's pretty funny.
uh, could you name all the different guitars you own?
Let's see the one up there, which I guess would be on the viewers left, is a Fender Stratocaster 30-year edition, 30th anniversary edition that was gifted to me when I left my first association. We had created an event where anybody who was in the frozen food industry would bring their instruments and we would put on a concert.
Okay.
Anyone could, there was a list of songs. If you knew it, you could jump in. It was a lot of fun. Uh, let's see, the one in the middle, that's my Taylor. That's my baby girl. Just sounds amazing. The one on the far right, that one, that was a gift from my father-in-law's girlfriend. It was her first husband's guitar. It is an original Yamaha acoustic that was built in Japan. There were very few that were built in Japan until they started producing them in Korea. So that guitar will always be with me. And the ones you can't see, I've got a 12-string Seagull. Uh, I've got a Les Paul Epiphone Black, which was my first electric guitar, which is super heavy around the neck, but just sounds great. And then I have a bass, an Ernie Ball bass, seafoam green that I like. I believe that I'm more of a bass player than I am a guitar player, but talent wise, not yet.
How did you get into that? Was it just you picked up as a young kid, or did you get into it?
No, this was late in life. This was one late in life, 30s. Um, but I've always played music. I was in the marching band and stuff, but I never played anything practical. So I just decided one day,
Practical.
yeah, I just I just decided, like, I played baritone and trombone and tuba in the marching band, and not like you can just pick up one of those and just, hey, let's just play around. Everybody
Yeah,
would hate me. So yeah, I used to drag a guitar to every contest and
I was
you
going
know
to ask that. Yeah, yeah. Oh,
play
what was it?
songs, but it just became one of those things that's like, why take one more thing? So, but I try and play every week at least for an hour. So
Okay. I forgot his name. Doggone it. Oh gosh, he cowboy opened up a food wagon here in Oklahoma City. He always pulled out a guitar and would sit out on the back porch, play just a little bit
huh.
during a contest. Oh my gosh, I've drawn a blank. But anyway,
From
yeah.
Oklahoma, that's going to be
No,
more
he's
your
not from.
wheelhouse.
He moved here. Him and his wife
Oh,
moved
okay.
here. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But yeah,
Hey, look,
it's all
we got
right.
some comments there from some pretty good pit
Yeah,
masters.
yeah. We've been yeah. You got some fanfare showing up there. Yeah, we'll put it in there and we'll just keep going. Toby,
Toby Grimmett.
Fred, Big
Yep.
Fred.
Shout
Yeah,
out to Toby.
I think I
Toby's
played
going to the
one of
job
those. Yeah,
for the first time. And he had some medical issues that precluded him from going last year. And I'm really glad that he gets to go this year. Fellow West Virginian, uh, a mountain of a man, but just the sweetest guy in the world. So I'm so
Toby.
glad. Toby, yeah.
Very nice.
Super glad that he gets to go. Jordan's unbelievable. Um, so consistent, really good dude. And Fred's Fred.
Oh, Fred's a great dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
If
just
if you've been out anywhere circuitry, you know that's right. Yeah.
Yep.
And you never know, Fred. Well, I know you're listening, so you never know. He may pop up there. It's the Snake River cook too.
You never know.
That's right. Yeah, he's liable to make way real quick. Uh,
Yeah.
he'll do it.
It's a good time. It's got to see Freddie last week at the Ace Hardware show.
Okay.
So
How'd that go for you? I've never jumped in on those big shows like that. It's just not my cup of tea.
it was really good. I go and represent Blues Hog and help them in their booth, and we get to meet. You get to meet a lot of the store owners.
Yeah.
And Ace in general has really upped their barbecue game in terms of just rubs and sauces and grills and charcoals and
Yeah.
injections and everything. They carry it all. And granted, some parts of the country are a little bit more robust than others, but like the Provisions Ace Hardware in Pinehurst, North Carolina. I teach there occasionally, and it's the biggest Ace Hardware in the world, and it's basically like walking into. You can buy anything you want there. You can have a beer while you're shopping. I mean, it is. They do a great job, but it's great to go in there because you get to see all your friends' products, and it's
Yeah.
pretty cool. So,
That's
yeah,
good.
we do a lot of stuff there with the Ace Hardware show. It's a lot of fun.
That's good. Yeah, and let's be real, you're working with one of the greats in the business there with Blues Hog. So hey, yeah, that's no
It's
doubt.
kind of easy to sell Blues Hog sauce.
Joe Bob's, that's the guy I was thinking of.
Joe Bob, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, I met him once, long
Yeah,
time
that's the
ago.
one I was thinking of. Yep, yep. The plays guitar, everybody. Yeah, that's who it was. Well, cool.
Yeah.
What other barbecue or I'm sorry, cooking? Do you do any other type of competitions? You do burgers, chili? You do any kind of competition like that?
No, I've played around with chili there for a while. Did some mid-Atlantic chili cook-offs, and you know, it was fine. Wasn't for me. Did okay. Just I like barbecue. We played around with the steak cook-off association stuff, and
Yeah.
I struggle to. I struggle that I have to cook a steak to medium to do well. And that was always my indictment of it was I've spent my whole life trying to cook a steak medium rare, and now I need to change it and put yeah.
So
So
what are you? Are you a medium rare steak person?
yeah, I never
Okay.
was until I started learning about this and learning about meat and learning about flavor. And we grew up in a house of all big people. So my mom would, when she would go shopping, she would look for the leanest piece of meat with no fat,
Yep.
and she thought she was being nice to us. Well,
The doctors had trained us how to think.
yep, no
Yep.
flavor at all. And but that's what's been amazing about this whole cooking journey is, I think less about competition and more about how much I've tried to educate myself in different cuisines and different styles of cooking. I've spent a lot of time cooking French dishes, Spanish dishes, Italian stuff, and really just learning more about cooking processes. There's a, oh gosh, Chef Paul Bocuse, old school 1800s French cook. You read through that and you're reading about how to wrap a brisket. I mean, it's the same methodology and the same processes. Get a little bit of flavor on the outside and then basically braise it.
Wow. Yeah.
And you can learn some small little tricks in there, and I love reading cookbooks, and that's the only kind of books I really read anymore. So it's weird, but right now I'm reading Roy Choi's cookbook. He owns restaurants all over and a food truck in LA called Kogi, which is Korean's Southern Californian street food, and the recipes are amazing. So I just love cooking, and I love the expression that it allows you to do.
So when you travel into the different contests or the different states and stuff, are you the kind of a cook that wants to find a local barbecue and just see what their local is? Or do you venture off? And if not, what kind of cuisine do you want to eat?
I'm generally trying to find what the if it's someplace that something's known for, I want to go have that. Um, if it's someplace, I generally will try and find a barbecue place. I have an entire backlog of barbecue restaurant reviews on my phone in video form that I want to put up on my YouTube channel. I'm great at filming videos, Dave. I'm bad at posting and editing videos. It's the worst, man. It's the worst.
Uh,
I was in Kansas City and I made Rod take me to like 4 different places. And we did reviews and I mean, I haven't put them up. I've had them on there forever. But I'm generally looking for something unique to that area. That's what I want to experience,
so
is
you do like to look for whatever they call Texas style or whatever they call Carolina style, or like you say, the Kansas look. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, definitely
Well,
just I want to
cool.
try it all. You're always going to learn something new,
Yeah.
which is I think just super important is and that's been important to me in barbecue, but also every facet of my life is always be learning. There's always something new. Like I do this stupid thing now. It's not stupid, but I saw a video and heard a podcast about it, and it's called rope flow. And you
What is it?
swing a rope flow.
Okay.
So you get this rope that's got some weight to it, and you swing it, and you rotate your body, and it opens up your spine and releases your sciatica, releases the tension in your spine. I do it for 10 minutes every morning and just feel like $1,000,000. But I learned that a month ago. It's I'm not afraid, and it drives my wife nuts because I'm always buying new stuff, and she's like, why is there this giant rope sitting here in the shoe basket? It's this new thing I'm doing, so
That's enough for that's another podcast. No,
right.
I could see myself looking into that, and then I the way my mind thinks is, how can I take it a step further? So I'll go get a chain, whop whop, knock
Right.
myself out.
Oh,
Oh,
they make a bigger rope that I was looking at right before we got on here, and I'm like, "Man, do I wanna spend $100 on a rope?" Probably will, but
yeah, that's right. Oh gosh. So
but
okay, you go
there's so
ahead.
much to learn, there's just so much to learn.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right. And just I love chatting with you guys, and just just that right there. Who would have thunk or thought or whatever? Loosening your spine by spinning a rope. That's interesting. I'm gonna look that up because if you know me at all, I've had some major back issues and surgeries and stuff. So I that's something that I will definitely look into. Yeah.
It's low impact, it's not expensive, you can do it anywhere. Um, like, I took my rope to Chicago last week on the plane
Yeah.
and did it in the hotel room, and just being there, like, standing there on that trade show floor for, hours, being able to I did it in the morning and in the evening just made me feel better.
Yeah. I can remember it was probably 6 years ago or so. My wife and I was up in Oklahoma City, and we were looking at some different things, and we went into this one specialty chair place, and they had an inversion table.
Mhm.
And Wilma's like, you need to try it, because at that time she was still working at the Oklahoma Spine Hospital. She said, there's some that love it and some that hate it. And the guy said, she's absolutely right. It will either work for you or it won't work for you. And they strapped me into this thing. And I mean, just about the time he went like this, I started barking, and I'm like, you better get me out of this now. And I mean, he swung it back as quick as he went up with it. And I'm like, nope, that is not going to work for me.
Not for me. Yeah, they tried to get me to do one of those. I'm like, "Physics, guys, I'm not doing that."
Yeah, I can flop upside down and I ain't never coming back.
Right. That's how you'll find me.
That's right. Looking straight up.
Yeah.
So, what else you got coming up for the rest of the year?
Well, we've got Jack, Royal, bunch of different competitions. We've been doing pretty good this year.
Yeah,
So we find ourselves staring at numbers and wondering whether that's worth it or not, and to keep pushing ahead. And I don't know. that's the balance of business and barbecue and competitions, and really, and it's been the balance of personal life. Both Kim and I both lost our father
Oh, sorry to
within.
hear that. I am
Thank
very
you.
sorry. Yeah.
Within the first 6 months of the year, and it's just been a really emotional time, and we both buried ourselves in competition barbecue.
Okay.
And we spent, after her father passed, we spent the whole summer just cooking and having fun. And I think it's just been maintaining that mindset that, you know, number one, both of our dads loved that we did that and that we
Yeah,
did it together. And I can't think of a better way to honor him than to keep doing it and see how close we can get in a couple of things. So,
that's absolutely right. I talk about my dad. We lost him about 5 years ago at a contest many times, and him and Donnie Teal become really good friends. And I always tell this story when someone talks about their dad and barbecue. But okay, for those that's heard it, okay, blank out for 30 seconds, but I'm gonna tell it again because I love it. But I remember we were cooking down here at Shawnee at David Qualls's big contest. And well, sorry, Fire Lake's big contest was right. It's in his back door. But anyway, Dad had my ribs, and he had moseyed over towards Donnie's setup, and he had tried one of Donnie's ribs. I'm pretty sure it was at that contest. But anyway, he tried it, and he looked at Donnie and he says, "Hey, don't tell David this, but man, your ribs are a whole lot better than his." And Donnie come over to me. He was telling me the story. He said, "Don't tell him I told you." And that I just loved it. I just was like, "Yeah, that's it." Yep.
so I've got a similar one. There's a old friend of mine, Jerry Dyer from JD Smoking Misfits. He'd been cooking since 1983, and he was one of the first people that we had met when we started doing this. And my mom and dad had come to a contest, and Jerry's daughter had missed pork turning.
Oh yeah.
She was late, so she come back with that box, and I'm like, "Ooh, that's not good." Well, Jerry brought that box over to my parents and said, "I'd like to show you what we do." And so he opened the box and he let them try his pork entry, like the would have been turned in. And my dad took a bite of Jerry's pork and looked at me and said, "Yours ain't even close to that, bud." I was like,
Oh,
"You're probably right."
honesty, baby.
Honesty, and that's, when I teach classes and stuff, I tell people, like, and it's that story I tell. I'm like, you got to be honest with people about your food, and you got to be honest about your own food, or you're never going
That's
to get
right.
better. So,
That's the biggest nugget, and it's not even really a nugget, but it's so hard to be honest with yourself. I mean, we cooked the Royal 18, 19 years. And Martin and I was driving in one time and was like, we remember the very first year we came, we left going, why were we 135th? We thought this was good food. We didn't realize what we didn't know.
right.
Yeah.
It's yeah, and once you cross that when you cross that threshold and you have something else, or you take your first class
Yeah.
and you're like, "Geez, like I've been doing this wrong.
Yeah.
Like I'm not even close." And
The
then
concept is different.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then you reproduce it that first time and you're like, "Okay,
Yeah.
now I got it." And that's the key. It's, I could sit here and tell you till I'm blue in the face that I should have gotten better brisket scores all year. I got the yips, bud. I got I don't know what's maybe it's switching to the can, and I've never done it on there before, but I've been just throwing stuff at the wall and trying to see what sticks, and I know that's wrong. I know it's wrong, and but we've kind of settled now.
There was just one little step that was, and it might be nothing more than a timing in your same process. But yeah, that's what'll make the difference in your cook right there. It's analyzing the steps, not the finished product.
Right. And finish figuring out what's essential, what's not. It's never adding anything. Um, it's always taking something away. But I'm gonna brag on you a touch. I've had some success recently once I got the brisket basket.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, I
and
appreciate that. Tell everyone what that is. I don't do this podcast to boast our stuff, but yeah, go right ahead. I
I
don't mind
will.
to know someone
It's a
else.
basket that David's created, and it holds the brisket together, or pushes it together, kind of squishes it. Now I've modified it slightly.
Okay.
I've taken off the bottom rails that were holding it up above the pan a little
Uh-huh.
bit. I've taken those off so that it lays down in the pan. Um, but I've really just noticed a difference in not only injection retention, but also in keeping shape.
Yeah.
Um, and it's really, and I'll be honest with you, when I was never a fan of these things. I'm like, why do I need this? I never used one, and then I used it, and I was like, okay,
Yeah.
there's something to this.
I want to clear the air force before we keep going. It wasn't the brainchild of the basket wasn't just my idea. Another company had started it, had it out there, and I just jumped on the bandwagon. Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
want everyone to think that it was my game. No, there
sure.
was two. Yeah, there was two or three out there, and Anthony Menderman, Bulldog Barbecue, he's one who started all of that, and him and I chat once a month or so anyway. But I wanted other folks just to keep the air clear. Yeah, there's things out there. I mean, gosh, who was the first one had barbecue sauce? But we've all got it. So I just wanted to say
Yeah.
that. But yeah, tell me what'd
I
you
like
do
the
to clean that bottom off? What'd you do? Just cut those edges off?
well, I was I'm notorious for going to contests, and if I need something irregular done, I'm going to find somebody local to do it.
Okay.
So we were at Smoke on the Rails in Pennsylvania, and one of the main sponsors, the guy that produces the trophies, and I hate that I can't remember his name right now, but they brought him over and introduced me to him, and they do all the trophies are all cut railroad rail or
Oh,
spikes,
okay.
um, and they're really amazing, cool trophies. And I said, "Can you cut stainless?" And he's like, "Of course." And I was
Of
like,
course.
so I showed him what I wanted, and he took it, came back 2 hours later, and it was done. So
Perfect. Okay. I was just curious. Yeah.
yeah, and I just love the way that I can move those things around, and I don't have to worry about trimming my brisket to a certain size because each one's different. You can't,
Yeah.
and I don't want to rob myself of potential good meat at a contest. I think that's 90% of that is, you know, making sure you're setting yourself up, not necessarily for success, but giving yourself options. Um, you hit on something earlier in the podcast too, burn ends. I'm gonna start cooking them again. I think, for a long time we haven't cooked them.
I haven't not turned them in, but maybe three times all the contests I've ever done.
Oh
I
wow,
I always turn in burn ins, and that's what everybody around here goes. Well, no one's turned them in. I don't care. I do, and I always have. And generally, dude, we'll be in the hunt for brisket a lot of
yeah.
times, but I always turn in burn ins. That's just what we do. So I say yes, do it. Yeah.
I had a friend of mine was cooking next to us a couple weeks ago, and he brought one over. And I was like, really? And I took a bite of it, and I went, oh, really? Like, no wonder he's been drumming me in brisket all year.
Yeah.
So I think it makes a difference, and I love when you got to turn it all in, man. I think a brisket box looks better with burn ends in there. I
Yeah.
think it gives some options. I love doing different things with chicken. I love all of it. Pork. I Barbecue's fun, man. That's what's great about this is, there's 10 million ways to do it.
Yeah, and not one's right or not one's wrong. You was
Yep.
talking about the burn in there and the chicken. I call we cook five categories in a KCBS contest. Burn in is a fifth category.
Yeah.
because it is its own thing. And so is chicken in the jack.
Yes.
Um, and there is a ton of stuff you have to do because you have to think now. You're cooking 6 categories now. If you, that's the way I look at that. And so if you've never done a burn in or never done the breast in the jack, the best thing I can say is put it into your cycle right now. Go to your contest because there's going to be something, and it may not be much, but there's going to be something that at the time you say, "Oh, I need to do this with my burn in," that's going to be the same time that you may be having to do something with the rib. So you
Mhm.
may need to shift or put it off. Don't wait till you get to that one particular coup de grace contest to figure that out. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say is if
That's
you
amazing advice, David. It's just, and you don't have to turn it in. Realize that.
that's
Like
right.
you can cook your breast meat, you can cook your burn ends, just build it in so you get that feel.
Yep.
Also, you know, I know there's this perceived, butting of heads between judges and cooks. If you don't got 6 judge friends that you can't invite after they're done judging to come to your trailer and feed them the wings, feed them the burn ends, have them tell you exactly what they think about it, man, make those friends. That's
Yeah.
essential.
And I highly recommend not turning the breast in your first time cooking it.
Right.
Go through the complete process, building your normal box, because that will change your normal box. So that the time it takes, if you're going to slice, if you're going to chunk, if you're whatever, heat your sauce up because you're going to be opening and closing that smoker that much more.
Yep.
So go through that all the way through that and then just set them to the side. Wait, go clean your table up, get it ready for your ribs for the next category, and then go try that breast because that's when they're going to try it. And then say, oh, that was a good breast, or yeah, no, we need to do this. But yeah, even the first one or two, that way you'll know how your smoker reacts when you open it to do that one thing for the breast. And did it change my thighs? Did it change my drum? Did it change my ribs getting finished?
Hmm.
So does it make it cycle more? Any and everything. But I highly recommend fitting it into your time schedule for that very reason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, take advantage of these single meat contests if you have one at your, cook the chicken on Friday night, but just turn in wings
There you go.
and see. That way your wing is getting scored. You know what your thigh or your leg is going to score.
That's brilliant.
Yeah. Turn
Yes.
in turn in your wings, turn in your breast by itself. Get feedback on that by itself during the single meets. I mean, unless you're trying to run Brad down for chicken, you ain't got no reason not to try that and see what you can do and see what it comes back with.
That's a giant nugget.
Yeah.
That's huge. I love that.
Yeah, it's a huge one. It's we had an opportunity last year, I think. Was it last year? Where they needed some X boxes turned in. Basically, they had too many judges, so they were asking for additional boxes. And I said, I'm happy to turn in an X box, but I want scores on it. And they were like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? I was like, I want feedback from every judge. I want comment card from every judge on. And I turned in breast meat that day because we were going back and forth, and basically got the feedback I needed to know that I should practice
Yeah.
wings more.
Have you ever done the Rib Cook Off Association's ribs?
I have not. We
Okay.
don't really have those out this way
Okay.
yet.
um, Jody and Dirk, just north of me, about 30 minutes. We get a handful here in Oklahoma, and they're really getting popular. And I'm sure they'll go out your direction over there. But yeah, if KCBS, because don't you do mostly just KCBS contest?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have one meat contest, like you're saying, on generally Fridays.
Generally Friday nights. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a good time to practice and try new things. It's we always do something different when it's single meets. It's actually the one time that I can cook where I'm not being policed by my wife in terms of drinking and stuff. So, I'll have a couple pops while I'm cooking and turn on the music, and I won't let her touch anything. She arrives and she's like, "Let me do the box." I'm like, "Get away from the table. I was like, I need to practice to do this. And she's like, you don't have anything set up. She's like, where is your kale box? I'm like, it's not 20 minutes before turning. I ain't made it yet. You know, I was like, we're going to do this my way, the disorganized, chaotic
Oh,
way. She hates it when I get all nines and
she
appears.
may jump in on the comments right now and lay you open.
I doubt it. She's got her first. She's a counselor in middle school, and their first day is tomorrow, so she's pretty
Okay, yeah.
underwater.
So
So I
this
can
was a safe time to do the podcast.
I can get away with it right now.
Oh
Good stuff. But
God,
I'll tell you what, that's another important thing about all this is teammates and having someone in there that you trust implicitly that you can
yeah,
communicate with. There's nobody better in the world than her. And one of the biggest changes this year, Dave, is she gets up at 6 o'clock and she sits on that porch and she works those drums. She Her real name is Olivia Catherine Darnell, OCD. She is maniacal about it and actually kind of amazing at it. And she knows where everything's supposed to be. She knows what time it's supposed to change. Uh, Tim Shear once called her one of the best drum cooks in the world because she sits there and that's what she does.
yeah.
She hasn't built a kale box all year. I've built them all.
I've got Martin. He
Yeah.
is our we run just one drum for a flavor on a few things, finish it in my pellet grills and stuff, cookers. And yeah, once we light that thing at 5:30 in the morning, there's a chair sits right there. That's what he does. And
Yep.
you talk about a relief for me to where I can be in the trailer doing what I need to do on Saturday morning, Saturday prepping, all that stuff. I don't have to every 15 minutes jump out and look or every 30 minutes. Oh, dude, he's got it taken care of. It's done. And you're absolutely right. That is huge when that's not having to be thought about.
Right. And and we run into some times where I'm like, hey, we need to open that up. Like the signs here are showing, and she's like, I know what I'm doing. I'm like, listen, let's rely
Okay.
on both of us here.
Yeah.
And but we have a great time doing it. And it helps her feel lot more a part of it. This is a male dominated thing that we do, and but she's getting her flowers a little bit from some people because they see what she's doing, and
Yeah. I'm
she's
not
really
a
special.
I'm not known as a drum cook, and don't get me wrong, I'm not professing to be a drum cook. Uh, but I'll tell you one thing: we started playing. How do you light your drums an hour before needing to put meat on? What's your
Pretty
pro?
much.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, same here, same here.
Yeah.
Something we started is once it levels, we will open it up and dump it
Oh,
for
wow.
3 to 4 minutes. I mean, 3 to 4 minutes, and then put the lid back on to pretend like we just put meat on so
Yeah.
that the coals relight and get back where they need to be. So when we did put the cold meats on, it's not diving 30 degrees. It will because of the cold meat, but you know how the coals will kind of cinder down just a little bit, and now your heat's just leveled out.
Wow.
We will dump it about 15 minutes before we put the meat on, just so that it relights itself and is ready for that cold meat. That's something we figured out just kind of on our own.
Wow, that's brilliant. I never
So
thought about doing that. We generally will run it 15 to 20 degrees above what we want it
to do that same thing,
to
yeah.
do that same thing. Then we put the meat on, she sort of settles, and
For me, what I have found is that that lights too much coals and it wants to now settle back up too high for where I want to cook at. I mean,
yeah.
just for my type of cooking. So we have found if we can keep the coals at a lower ignition, dump them, and then when they relight, then they'll settle back down to that same spot. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know. That's just how we
That's the
run the can.
best it's the best thing, like a lot of people say that our chicken process isn't repeatable because I mean, Kim's putting that stuff on blast, man. That chicken's going on at 385.
What's wrong with that? I mean,
Nothing. But
that's right.
but
And not
then
repeatable.
she drops it down, and people were like, "Oh, you can't go that high." I'm like,
Yeah, you
"Watch her,
can't.
watch her
Yeah.
do it."
Yeah. We'll put it on and we'll see you next time. Do the same thing. That's
That's right.
right.
She
Yeah.
just lets it eat, man. She's uh yeah, and just in terms of being in the box and making it look pretty, and you know, these are big.
Yeah.
She's got tiny little hands, and it just makes it easier.
Are you a deflector shield guy?
Nope.
Okay. See, we've learned to like it.
Nope. No deflector shield. Just direct pretty much on everything.
It's kind of like superhero. Are you a cape guy or you're a non-cape superhero?
Right. Right. That's what's so great about that piece of equipment. There's so many different ways to cook on a gateway, and
Oh
even when I
yeah.
teach backyard cooking classes, I love throwing the firebox up on a grate and then cooking right on the coals. And people were like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "It's fun, man. This is
Yeah.
the most dynamic piece of equipment I think that we've had in barbecue in a long time." You know, Tim says, and he's right, half hour on a drum is an eternity. If you got something that ain't done,
Okay.
you got a half hour, that's 2 hours on an offset. You can
You
run
can
that
get
thing
it.
up, you
Yeah.
can get it done. And even when we were on Jambo, our chicken was on a can, but we kept that can going all throughout finishing because if, say, the mind muscles were tight or something, put them on blast.
I
Same
got
with ribs, same with brisket. Put
yeah.
it back in there. Give it 15 minutes at 400. You'll get
Yeah.
there.
That's interesting. I like that. Cool. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just another tool, and it's that adaptability that I think that's something that just takes you years and years to learn when you're doing this.
Yeah. I've got our oldest granddaughter. She's a senior this year. And this weekend, I'm hosting a barbecue contest at our county fair. And I've done it 5 years now, I think. Well, she has decided she wants to get she's the president of the FFA chapter. She wanted to get uh, an FFA chapter team together.
Mhm.
So I'm sorry, Sunday they came over and it's a rib contest. And we always rotate a second meat. It could be different things, different years. Well, this year it's anything meat, but the meat's got to shine. Whatever else you want to cook. So they decided they wanted to do burgers. So Sunday we were doing a burger cook, and I've got them on drums. I got two of the gateways. So they're doing that tonight. They're coming over. They're going to do ribs for the first time.
Oh,
This
wow.
is their first ever rib cook. Yeah,
That's
so
great.
it's going to be a blast, and I can just see her and them. Um, a year down the road while dad's off starting something or they're in college or doing something, going over going, hey, that's not the best way to do that. And they jump in and take right over.
It's fun when people get to see what we do,
Yeah.
and we were very fortunate to judge asked us to come and cook for their family during their
Yeah. Yeah.
father's birthday party, but it's where we cooked on site during the event. Um, so they got to see us cook pork ribs and chicken, and they wanted leg of lamb, so I had to do that for the first time on a drum. So that was fun. Um, but we're showing them the ribs and the chicken, and they're like, "What?" It's like, yeah, it's
It's not your normal baked chicken, is it?
right. And you're slicing the ribs, and I'm talking about them. I'm like, now this is going to ruin ribs for you for the rest of your life. I'm not just saying that because I think I'm great, but
Yeah.
when you have a competition rib, going to somewhere else and having a rib, it just ain't the same deal.
Oh,
You
you're
know,
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
and it's hard to do, but it's a lot of fun, and just seeing the joy that it brings, man. Barbecue is just such a great thing.
Oh, it is. It is. Well, Luke, we've taken an hour of your morning. I appreciate it. I know you've got lots going on. Tell everyone where they can follow Luke Darnell, Old Virginia Smoke.
Sure, you can find us on Facebook at Old Virginia Smoke. Please go like the YouTube channel. Promise there's a
Yes,
lot more coming.
go do that.
That's on Old Virginia Smoke. Uh, Instagram is old_Virginia_smoke because I got on that early and didn't really know the protocol, so that's kind of dumb. But then I'm on X or Twitter or whatever, but I don't really
I'm
engage
with
on
you
them.
there. I'm same way. It's there, but it's not there. Yeah.
It's there. I use it to complain to customer service reps on things like last week I got stuck in O'Hare and United wouldn't let me into the lounge, so I tagged United and gave them a piece of my mind. Nothing happened, but it was fine.
Well,
But thanks for having me on, David, and thank you for uh, all that you do for barbecue, all the products you've created, all the expertise. I was given a recipe the other day for brisket because I've been having the yips right, and they talked about heating their injection, and I went, I don't think that's good. Like, doesn't that kill the phosphates?
no, doesn't denature the phosphates at all.
It doesn't?
No, heat doesn't denature the phosphates at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then I was wrong. And I
Yeah.
should have just texted you like I said I was going to instead of just assuming that I knew the answer.
Yeah.
Because I even said, I was like, I need to text David to see if this is right.
Well, I appreciate the kind words. Everybody, if you see Luke out on the circuit, stop by and shake his hand, tell him hi, tell him you watched him here on this. And um, buddy, that's all I got.
All right, man. Thanks a lot for all you do. Congratulations on the KCBS Hall of Fame.
Well, thank you. I
Again,
appreciate that.
that
Yeah.
was a
That was
great
a
time.
blast.
And it was a great time. And I told Anello that night before we or that day before we started that, I said, has there ever been a collection of barbecue talent, not only in competitions, but also in business, than those 19, 20 people that were in that room? I don't think there is.
Wow. We're
So, I
I know
mean,
I can speak for all of them. We're all honored to people think like that. But yeah, you know, we're just doing what we do.
yep. And everybody's just nice as hell. That's the best part. It's
Oh,
just,
absolutely. And if they're
yeah,
not, I ain't got room for you anyway.
there you go. All right, buddy. Thanks a lot.
You bet, guy. Take care.
Okay.